Hi, welcome back to the course. And in this video, I'll be giving everyone a free tip. So, if you are a person who wants to sleep late, or let's say doesn't want to sleep at all, then make a Android project using Java. Then you will never sleep because you will be busy debugging all your errors. On the other hand, if you want to sleep early and maintain a proper sleeping routine, learn Kotlin because Kotlin is Java made simpler, and also Kotlin is a modern programming language which makes the developers even happier. I mean, at least this is what they say in their home page. So who knows, maybe learning Kotlin could make your life even more happier. I guess I couldn't relate to this. Anyway, even the major brands are shifting their app projects from Java to Kotlin. And one more important thing is that you don't have to use semicolon while programming in Kotlin. I mean, if this doesn't motivate you to start learning Kotlin, I don't know what else will. And also, if you have noticed the time of me recording this video, you would have figured out that I'm still a Java developer. So press F for respect. Alright, let's learn all our Kotlin basics. Cool. Let's explore the variables and data types in Kotlin. So, what are the data types of Kotlin? There's number, which includes int, float, double, and long. Everything comes under number. And character is nothing but which stores a one letter. So, Boolean is which will store the value true or false. And there's array, which is a collection of number, and also there's string, which is nothing but a sequence of characters or an array of characters, let's say. So this is how you declare a variable in Kotlin. You'll use a keyword called var or val, var or val, and this is the variable name, and this is the data type, and you assign it to a value. You can either specify the data type, or you can avoid using the data type, and Kotlin automatically recognize the data type. So there's two ways in which you can assign your variables in Kotlin. There's var and val. Var is mutable, whereas val is immutable. You can update or change the value of variables if you assign it as var in the first place. Whereas when you assign a variable as val, you can't update or change the value of that variable. Let's see this directly in Android Studio. Let's create a new project. Let's name this as Kotlin Basics. Kotlin, cool. Okay, the project is up. If we type some code here and run, it will open up our emulator and all will run. So we don't want that. So let's create a new Kotlin file here. Kotlin file. Let's name this output. Create a main function. So this fun is a keyword for a function, to create a function in Kotlin. So this is just a main function. Don't worry if you don't get this. It's just a function. Now let's declare a variable. Let's say var language is equal to Kotlin. And to print this, let's give print len language. Yeah, let's run this. So we are running this main function alone, so it won't trigger your emulator. Yeah, you can see Kotlin in here. So to now to print it with a string, let's say the chosen language this. You need to give a dollar and the variable name for it to print the value. Cool. Now let's run this. Yeah. Okay. I gave the curly brackets outside of the dollar, so it printed the curly brackets also. So now let's run this. Cool. Now we have declared it as var. I said that var is a mutable data type. That means we can change its value. Let's change its value to now, let's say Python, and run this. Yeah, as you can see, the language is was Kotlin here, but then it got updated to Python, and that was Python was printed on the out. Now let's change this var to val and run this. Yeah, you can already see a error here. Yeah, it's saying val cannot be reassigned. Yes, because val is immutable. So let's remove this line and run this. Cool, it works because we aren't reassigning any value to it. So to learn Kotlin, you can like refer to this website, Geeks for Geeks. We will like provide the link in the description. You can pretty much learn everything about Kotlin in here. Yeah. So let's go to operators, and let's go to operators. We'll copy this code. Okay. So we are declaring two variables, which is var a is equal to 20 and var b is equal to 4. And on the first line, it's say telling print lin, and it does addition, and here it does subtraction, and here multiplication. It does division here, and this shows a dot rem b shows the reminder when b is divided by a. In here, we can see that the data type of A is since specified, but this code will still work. Let me run this. Yeah, 20 plus 4 is 24, and everything works fine. But we haven't specified our data type. So Kotlin automatically chooses a data type. We can also specify our data type in here. This should also work. Yeah, let's say we give float here. Let's see what happens. It shows a error here cause 4 is not a float. We need to give f after the number to specify that it's a float number. Let's run this now. Like you see here, the last time it was just 2416 without the decimal part, but now you can also see a decimal part to all those answers. Because Kotlin automatically converted all those outputs to a float value. So now that is all for this, and we can also play with relational operators. These are the relational operators on Kotlin. Let's say we'll message this out to message out a bunch of lines. Select all those lines and click on control and front slash. Let's run this. So um, all these lines give out a boolean value, false or true. In here, it's saying C greater than D. C is 30 and D is 40. This is false. So the boolean value false is printed here. We can also use print instead of print lin, and I'll show you the difference. So with print, it doesn't go to the next line. And what I mean is, let's run this. Every answer output will be on one line itself. Yeah, everything is on one line. What println does is, it automatically gives a line break after every output. Okay. Now let's explore if else block. Okay. Where A is assigned to 50 and there's B is 40. This max finds out the maximum number of A and B. And the variable max is assigned to the greatest number among these two. Now let's explore if and else blocks. Let's remove this. Let's say where A is equal to 20 and where B is equal to 10. So you don't have to give semicolon to each line like in Python. Let's say if A greater than B, print A is greater, else B is greater. Cool. So if A is greater, this line is printed. Else, if this statement comes out to be false, the else part is executed and this will be printed. Let's run this. Cool. We got A is greater, which is true, and the code works. Now let's learn the syntax of for loop. We'll comment out this and for I in 1 to 10 print len $I. Okay. This will print the numbers from 1 to 10, 1 and 10 included. Looks cool, right? Yeah. So 1 and 10 included. It prints all the numbers from 1 to 10. Now, if you want to go in step of 2, you need to specify step 2. This step is a keyword. So let's run this. Now all the odd numbers will be printed. Yeah, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. You can also increase the step. Now to print the numbers backwards, we need to do something more. You might think this would work, but it doesn't. Let's run this. Yeah, empty. It doesn't print anything. We need to add one more keyword, which is down to. And to do that, let's say 1 in 10 down to 1. Now it will print the numbers from 1, 10 to 1. Yes. You can also give step to this. Yes, it works. So this is all about for. Now let's explore while loop. Let's paste this here. So we are declaring a number and variable and assigning it the value 1, and while the number lesser than or equal to 10, it will print the number, and we are also And we are also having the statement number plus plus. This is nothing but this is number is equal to number plus 1. This is a shorter way of writing this line, so don't get daunted by this. Let's run this. Cool. So this variable number is printed until this statement is true. On reaching 10, this number is getting added by 1 and it goes to 11. 11 lesser than or equal to 10 is checked. It is false. So this while loop stops there. So hence the last number is 10. So we call while loop a entry controlled loop, meaning it checks for a condition at the start. Whereas there's a do while loop which is called exit control loop. On there, the statement is on the end. Let's see do while loop now to get a better picture. Okay, we'll run this code. Okay, there's a variable number and it's implemented to 2, and there's I which is 1, and there's a do while loop which prints 2 into the $I which is 1 year, and it's getting added by 1 every time inside the loop, and this will get printed unless this statement is satisfied. So on in here do while there's a statement at the end, whereas in while there's a statement at the starting itself. So hence do while is a exit control loop, meaning a do while compulsorily prints a statement at least once. Let's run this. Okay, this prints until 10 because 10 lesser than 11 is true and 11 lesser than 11 is false. Okay, let's say 1 lesser than 0. Yeah, cause this is a exit control loop, and since the condition is at the end, it first enters inside the do while, it prints this line and then checks, and it turns out to be false, so it goes out of the do while. That's the difference between a while loop and a do while loop. Okay, cool. Now let's check when. Let's copy this code. Let's edit this. Okay, now let's say 7. Let's run this. This is like a switch case. If you already know C++ and Python, this is similar to the switch case in those languages. Let's run this. It prints it is a rainy season because of this line. So what when does is, so it gets a variable and it checks for all the conditions in here, and whenever one gets satisfied, it prints this statement. So this arrow is also a keyword and this in is also a keyword. If in 1 2 3 is true, this gets executed. Likewise, you will understand this better if we like do something like println. Let's say number. Okay, num in 1 to 10. If the number this 7 is between 1 to 10, then it will print true. This should print true now. Yeah, true. If we like change it to 6, this will then turn out to be false. Yes, it is false. So this is only happening basically inside this when. So let's come on delete all our lines. So let's declare an array, and to do that we can like say var arr is equal to of array of, and to mention that it's int full. To display the elements, we can use a for loop with the conditions like a n 0 to rr dot size. This gives the size of the array arr -1, cause array starts from the index value 0. And let's println arr of I. Let's run this. Cool. This just printed all the values in this array. We can also use for loop in this way. Let's say in in arr dot indices. This will run from the first index number to the last index number of this array. And let's run this. You will get the same output. Yeah, so this also works. So there's two ways in which you can display the elements of an array. So let's now like declare a string. Let's say hello world, and we can also print each letter using for loop in indices. Print st of I. Let's comment this out, and now let's run this. So each letter is printed on each line. So this is one thing in which you can access your string, and also there are many inbuilt functions for arrays and strings. You can check that out in Geeks for Geeks, but we won't be needing much of that to work on Android Studio. There's also a function which prints the length of the string st dot length. Let's run this. Let the output is 11. Let's see if that is right. And 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11. Yeah, that's right. It also includes this blank space right here. So yeah, 11, and it works. So that is all the Kotlin knowledge you need for the next few videos in this series. So yeah, we are good to go. So that is all the Kotlin knowledge you need now. We'll be making a cool calculator app in our next video. So stay tuned.